Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Full Court Press NBA podcast, starring myself, Clayton DeCare, and my co-host, Seamus DeCare. And because this is our first episode ever, we're going to introduce ourselves, starting with Seamus.
I'm Seamus. I'm his brother, and I'm also the host of the Full Court Press NBA podcast. My favorite team is the Milwaukee Bucks. We're from Waukesha. Lived in Milwaukee before, so it's my hometown team. That's why I like them. What about you?
Once again, my name is Clayton DeCare, and I also, my favorite team is the Bucks. A lot of people, just to get this out of the way, a lot of people call me bandwagon just because a lot of people think that I'm a Lakers fan or have been a Cavs fan, but in reality, because I do live in Wisconsin, I will always be rooting for the Bucks. They're my favorite team. And so what got you into basketball, Seamus?
I started watching it since LeBron was a rookie, but I really got into it when I used to see Nate Robinson in the dunk contest. He's same little taller than me, well, 4 inches taller, but he was short in the NBA. I used to be able to jump high. He could jump high. It just made me think I could play. Got me into basketball. What got you into it?
Well, what got me into it was actually you, just because as a young person when I was younger who didn't really care for sports, you did. You always loved sports, so at a younger age you got me into sports. And LeBron James was the main person I watched, and just seeing how much of a dominant force he was on the court, is on the court, just how amazing he is as a player, how amazing he is off of the court. It just inspired me to just really be a lover of basketball. So you did and LeBron did. So our next subject, we're just gonna hop right into this. What are your top 5 favorite NBA players ever and why?
Let's start with number 5. I'll go and you'll go, and we'll explain why.
All right.
My number 5 favorite player of all time is Dwayne Wade, the Flash. He could drive in. He could never be stopped. He dunked at when I saw him dunk on Anderson Varejao when he was on Cleveland. I just fell in love with the way he played. I love the 2011 through 14 Miami Heat. He's the reason why LeBron became a winner. I believe LeBron wouldn't have as many championships without Dwayne Wade's leadership. He was quick. He hit big shots. Wasn't a great three-point shooter, but he could hit them. He was really clutch.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, a great husband. I don't know who wouldn't like Dwayne Wade. He's my 5th favorite player ever. Who's yours?
Yeah. Mine's a two-way tie between 2 current NBA players, and that's Victor Oladipo and Damian Lillard. I first starting off with Victor Oladipo, he's just like he has so much determination on the court. You can just see throughout his career so much growth. He went from a bench player, like a solid bench player who can score a lot for you, to the star of his team. He he's the franchise player of the Pacers. He just puts on such a show every single night. He has more determination than most players I've seen in the league. He isn't a cocky player. He seems loyal to his team. I know he hasn't been on the Pacers for a while, but he's in love with that franchise, and that's just a player, if I had a team, that I want to have, and that's why I like him a lot. And
also, when they lost him,
he's a good
it
singer.
showed in the playoffs. They couldn't.
Hey, he was injured.
My number 4?
Wait, no. And then Damian Lillard, he's just one of the most entertaining players I've ever seen. He is a very underrated slasher. He is an amazing shooter. He can dribble. He can drive. He's I like his music. He just seems like a great player off the court. He does charity work. He's
great rapper.
Just entertaining. Yeah, he's just an entertaining person. What is there not to like? He's loyal. Now that Russell Westbrook left the Oklahoma City Thunder for the Rockets, he is now the player who is the longest on like any franchise, isn't he? Is that correct?
We can get into that another episode, but I don't blame Westbrook. I still think he's one of the most loyal players in the league. Just something he had to do. We
Yeah.
can talk about that another day.
Yeah. So your
My
number
number 4, you already said, is number 5, Damian Lillard. I think he's the most underrated player of our past decade. He's been snubbed 2 All-Star games, and he averaged 25 and 27 points per game. And I don't remember for sure. I think one of those All-Star games, he got snubbed out by Goran Dragic. Goran Dragic. Like, when you think about NBA All-Stars, you don't think of him.
You think of Damian Lillard.
You think of Damian Lillard. Goran Dragic is a decent player, but he's not Damian Lillard.
He's not an
Damian
all-star.
Lillard, whenever you're watching a game, the fourth quarter, you want to watch Damian Lillard. You just get goosebumps watching him when he has that ball. He's going to win the game, more likely than not. He was 100% in fourth quarter field goals in the last 5 minutes in the playoffs. He's just hit big shot after big shot. He is not afraid of the big moments. He's ruthless. He's a dog. He goes at you. He never gives up. And he's going to retire a Blazer, and I respect that about him.
Yeah,
so.
Really. He's great. All right, number 4 for me is your number 5, Dwayne Wade. Being a fan of LeBron James my entire life, just constantly rooting him on just because of how great of a player he is. Dwayne Wade was a part of that during his LeBron's years in Miami Heat. So just being able to watch Dwayne Wade play alongside another great player, just how he shined, how entertaining he was, the chemistry he had with his teammates, the loyalty he shows to the Miami Heat, the charity work he does outside of basketball, how great of a player he is. Like at the FCs, he promoted charity work, which is just something that athletes need to do, and he did it, and I'm just so happy that he did that. He's just a great guy, a great player, a fun talent to watch, underrated shooter. I really like him, and he's my number 4. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the chosen one, LeBron James. And he's just, you can't say enough about him. I still think he's the best player in the world.
Yes, he is.
I think he's the best passer in basketball.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's a very underrated 3-point shooter. He makes the finals every year. I mean, I think he's the most fun player to watch in the league. If you have a choice between, let's say every team's playing somebody in that one night, every team's playing.
Yeah.
Everybody's tuning in to watch LeBron. Whether you like him or hate him, you want to see him lose, you want to see him win. He's the most loved and the most hated NBA player in the league at the same time. He does a lot of charity work. He's a really good family man.
Yeah.
Whenever you watch him, you're witnessing in my opinion, a top 2 player ever. Him and Michael Jordan are the best ever. You're witnessing greatness, and he's going to be gone soon. We better start watching him while we can.
Yeah. My number 3 is the one, the only Houston point guard, Russell Westbrook. I absolutely love him. I mean, what's there not to like about him? He averaged triple-double 3 straight years. He's athletic. He's arguably the most athletic player in the world. You can argue the only 2 people you can argue better than him are LeBron James and Giannis. He has small hands, which is relatable to me. If you didn't know that, his hands are small. He's not very good at gripping a basketball, but he can still power down, which is inspirational to me because I want to learn to dunk one day, and I don't have the hands to dunk, but he still does it with those small hands. I play like him. When I think of how I want to play on a basketball court, I think Russell Westbrook. I want to take over what he does. I want to be able to pass the ball, rebound the ball, score the ball in every way possible. I know he's a poor shooter, but he showed in the past that he can be a good shooter. And if he just picks it up, he can once again become a good shooter like he used to be. He's just a great teammate. People love him. And it is such a misconception when people say people don't want to play with him. I do not believe that at all. He is not the fault. This can be talked about another day, but I'm just going to say this. He is not the reason why the Thunder are bad at all. And it just makes me sad because he's just such a great talent. I'd want him on my team. He'd be my number one choice for a point guard if I was picking people, but I love Russell Westbrook. He's my third favorite player. What's your second?
Giannis Antetokounmpo, our hometown hero.
Mm-hmm.
He picked up the Bucks from being absolute ass to arguably the best team in the East. Ever since we drafted him, I've liked the way he looked at the game. He basically has a Russell Westbrook mentality.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to be friends with anybody. He's going to go at you every night. He never gives up. He's always going 100%. He sticks up for his teammates. He calls them out when they're playing bad. He's just a perfect leader. He's a mix of Kobe Bryant and Russell Westbrook. Put them together, who doesn't want to watch them? He's fun to watch every night. He's always going to do some highlight. He's going to slam on somebody. He's going to go from one end of the court to the other end of the court. He's going to lock you down. He's going to block shots. I mean, he's a Milwaukee Buck. That's my team.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win the finals because of him. I think he's going to be a top 5 player ever. And that's a discussion for another
Not
day.
the finals next year. All right. So I want to say one quick thing about what you said. I don't really think Russell Westbrook he does have the competitive mentality, but I feel like it's more of a Damian Lillard and Giannis mentality to not be friends with anyone. I don't know. I really feel like Damian Lillard and Russell and Giannis have the same mentality when it comes to basketball on and off the court. But my number 2 is also Giannis. One, he is the leader of the Milwaukee Bucks. I love the Milwaukee Bucks. They're my hometown team, so I have to root them on. And their best player is Giannis, who is a top 5 player in the league. He's an absolutely insane slasher. I've never seen it. It's hard to – you can only argue 2 people above him. Once again, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James are more of an athletic player than him. He can pass the ball. He can rebound the ball. He can score the ball. His only downfall is shooting threes. But other than that – and free throws. But other than that, he has everything. And
he's a 3-point shot away being the best player in the world.
Away from being the best. He could be the best player of all time. He could lead the Bucks to a championship. I don't think he will next year, or as long as LeBron's in the league. But maybe when he's old. But Giannis, I could see him winning a championship with the Bucks. He's just amazing. I really love him. And he's a great teammate, a great player off the court. He does a lot of work with he does a lot for the community. He's just he lives and breathes Milwaukee, and it's apparent in just the way he lives and the way he plays. Honorable mention. We don't really have to explain this one too much, but just a quick honorable mention before you say your number 1.
Steph Curry.
On the spot. Stephen Curry.
He's changed the game. I used to hate him. When the Warriors first came out, he was my least favorite player. You've got to respect him. The more I watched him, the more I liked him. He changed. I do not care if he the season and his career is over. I don't care if he will pass Ray Allen's record. I don't care if he doesn't. I don't care if Allen holds the record. Steph Curry is the best shooter we have ever seen. He is exciting to watch. As soon as he steps past half court, you've got to guard him.
Yeah.
He'll shoot 40% from half court with somebody in his face.
Yeah,
he's just unbelievable. He changed the whole game. He made it fast paced. He's the reason the NBA is thinking about putting a 4-point line in, because people are shooting that deep, which that's a discussion for another day. I wouldn't be against it.
I would.
All right. Who's your honorable mention?
John Wall.
That guy who tore his ACL in the shower?
Yeah, John Wall. Him. He's a slasher. See, that's what, when you ask me about my favorite players, I'm almost always going to say slasher. The most entertaining players. I'm pretty old school at basketball. I like people who attack the paint. John Wall's a slasher. His layups are insane. He's an acrobatic player. He is unpredictable. He can lead the team to a high seed. I don't think he'll ever win a championship unless he moves teams. But he's just entertaining. That's the shortest I'm gonna keep it. I love John Wall. He was my favorite player for like a little bit at one point. But yeah.
Yeah, he was back then. My all-time favorite player. I brought him up earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Nate the Great Robinson. Never made an All-Star game. Never made an All-NBA team. But at his size, he was unbelievable. He was jumping over players. He jumped over Dwight Howard. He blocked Yao Ming. He's blocked LeBron several times. You can look it up. He has one of the most historic NBA playoff fourth quarters ever with the Chicago Bulls, and he was in his 30s after jumping over people all the time. He was in his 30s, and he was just killing it with the Bulls, and they dropped him. He is so underrated because of his size. He's just unbelievable. He's a highlight show. He is the best slam dunk. He's the most exciting slam dunk contestant we've ever seen. And I don't think I'm wrong. I might have to stat check. I think he holds the record for most slam dunk contests won. I'm pretty sure he's won 3 of them.
Probably a tie.
Might be a tie, but I'm pretty sure he's won because he used to beat Dwight Howard all the time. But he's averaged 17 points a game with the Knicks. I mean, we haven't seen a guy like that size score that much since Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, you're right. Nate Robinson, 3 wins, most slam dunk wins ever.
He was quick. He was exciting. He got me into basketball. Same size as me almost. Of course, he's built bigger. I'm really skinny, but just a guy that size bullying players. And in the Big 3, he led the league in 4-pointers. He still has game. Milwaukee Bucks, pick him up.
Okay.
All right, that was just
number 1. LeBron James, easily. He is right. We got to save that for another day. He is phenomenal. He is the best basketball player I've ever watched. He is the best father in the NBA. He is the best charitable worker in the NBA. He has the biggest heart in the NBA. And he is the most athletic player to ever live. He is absolutely insane. He is the reason why I started watching basketball other than you getting me into it. But LeBron James was the first player I ever liked. He's always been my favorite. And he's never disappointed me. He's a 3-time champion. He made the finals, I think, 8 straight years. He's 3-6. Yeah, that sucks. But 8 straight years? How dominant do you have to be to make the finals 8 straight years? He's 34 years old, and he just arguably had one of the greatest seasons of his career. And it seems like he's just getting better and better as he ages. And he's just such an amazing talent. You cannot dislike him. People who don't like him don't know that. They don't like basketball. They're not fans of basketball.
Oh, yeah. People hate on him. Wait, they spend their life hating on him. If you hate on LeBron James, I don't think you're a real NBA fan because you're missing out on one of the greatest players ever, or arguably the greatest.
He can do everything, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. He's an old man dunking on everyone and shooting on everyone, and I don't know. You know my love for everyone knows how much I love LeBron James. LeBron is my favorite player. We need to move on to the next thing now. That's our top 5. LeBron James, of course, number 1. So, what do we feel about the Milwaukee Bucks right now? You first.
I think we took a hit losing Malcolm Brogdon.
Definitely.
I think we took a little bit of a hit losing Mirotic, but I didn't want them to re-sign him anyway. He was going to ask for more money that we could have gave him. I'm not against signing Chris Middleton all that money because if we let him go, we're not getting anybody else. Pay the man, keeps Giannis happy. Middleton had a couple bad games in the playoffs, cut him some slack. He played great for us all year. Great defender, great shooter. He was amazing in the All-Star game. He's a perfect fit for our team. That was our first year I compare that year to LeBron James' 2007 NBA Finals against the Spurs. They were just getting their feet wet. They're new. They'll be back. Giannis will be back, and the Bucks will be back. But I think we're stuck in the cap a bit. I like the pickup of Wesley Matthews. The thing about us, though, I'm sorry, but I think we need somebody a little better than Eric Bledsoe.
I agree.
He's a good player. I don't mind having him on the roster. But either take some of his minutes away until he proves himself to be a better shooter and give it to George Hill. Like, if he can't shoot, give minutes to George Hill. Take some of Bledsoe's away.
But at the same time, I kind of disagree.
George Hill showed up for us in the playoffs. I'm not saying Bledsoe can't start. You can jump in anytime. We don't need to take turns with this. It's kind of a debate or an agreement, whatever. But I think we lack shooters on our bench now. I don't think DJ Wilson's that great of a shooter. Wesley Matthews is going to help. I think if we can't sign Kyle Korver or J.R. Smith,
Kyle Korver
Giannis
has
is
signed
going to
with
have
them.
to play some extra
Kyle
minutes.
Korver is on the 76ers.
Oh, he signed?
They got a shooter.
Sixers signed him?
They're going to be good. They signed a shooter.
When did they sign him?
Like a day or two ago.
Oh.
They got Korver.
Well, J.R. Smith's still out there. Jamal Crawford's still out there. We need another
doesn't even know what the score is. All I gotta say is I feel like we don't have to cut Bledsoe's minutes. He's an all defensive player in the league. I know he lacks offense, but his defense is that we need. And Giannis can play power forward. Chris Middleton can play small forward. George Hill, if you want to give him more minutes, put him at shooting guard. He's not even he's not a pure player. He's a pure scorer. That'd be such a good lineup. Eric Bledsoe.
Well, George Hill can defend too.
Yeah, he can defend. Yeah, just imagine having those two there. And then you have Chris Middleton, who has good defense, underrated defense, and can shoot the ball, shoot the lights out, and he's an underrated slasher. And then you have Giannis, who can play defense. He can slash. And then at center, I don't even know who the hell we put at center.
Brook Lopez.
Yeah, that's right. We got Paul Gasol. I don't know if we have him anymore. We have
Paul Gasol is still a free agent.
He is?
Yep, we haven't re-signed him yet. I'd rather have Vince Carter at 43 than Paul Gasol. But what do you think about this? George Hill is getting up there in age.
Yeah.
I don't think we should start him. I think we should give him some solid 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, he's a bench player, for sure.
Come off the bench as a six-man. Sterling Brown should have been starting in the playoffs. He should be our starting shooting guard. I don't understand why we did not give him minutes.
I don't know about
Sterling Brown is very good, and he's young, and he's going nowhere but up. He's a good defender.
Well, what about you think Ilyasova should be a bench player? Because if you put him in, then you're going to have Giannis at power forward, Middleton at small forward, and then you're going to have Sterling Brown at shooting guard.
The starting lineup we could have is Eric Bledsoe, Sterling Brown, Chris Middleton, Giannis at power forward, and then Lopez.
So you think Ilyasova should be a bench player?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's too slow.
Yeah, he's slow, but I mean,
he plays better off the bench.
He's so good with our style, and he's really good at getting us jumps in games because he can shoot the ball, he can post up, he can rebound. He's a
Yeah,
solid
he can
player.
hustle, but we need some players like that on our bench.
Yeah, I mean,
We need some
I feel like he's pretty good
energy off the bench
against,
other than
but
George Hill.
I kind of like. I don't really like the idea of Sterling Brown. I think we could play him high minutes. He should be the sixth man. We could have him at sixth man.
I can.
Well, two
can,
things that I
but
really like.
if we
Wait,
put
sorry,
in Ersan Ilyasova, we're gonna be like last year. I think because we had the tallest lineup. We had the tallest lineup in NBA history at one point. I don't like that. Too many bigs at once in the starting lineup. I don't like it. Small ball is the new way of the NBA. The Golden State Warriors used it.
And we kind of disproved that last year. We didn't use small ball that often, and we were the best team.
Yeah, but we had
the best record in the league.
Excuse my language, but the fucking Raptors used it. Marc Gasol didn't even play that much. Serge Ibaka was their center.
No, Siakam was.
Well, one of them, but they destroyed us. And then in the finals, they didn't use the center at center.
No, they had Serge Ibaka. They switched him.
Serge Ibaka was playing center.
Siakam and Marc Gasol switched off at center. I'm not sure, but they got 2 defensive player of the years on their team. Kyle Lowry's underrated at defense. And then they got Serge Ibaka. And then Siakam, their team's a defensive powerhouse. That's why they stopped us. And you know why the Raptors, well, we could save this for another day, but all I got to say is, you know the reason the Raptors won is because they kept intentionally following Giannis. If he would have made half of his missed free throws, we would have won that series. They know he can't shoot free throws. That's the only reason we lost, and because we were also missing open threes.
That was good. That's a good strategy by the Raptors. They outcoached us.
That was a good strategy, but it's annoying because I wanted the Bucks.
Let's put this subject to an end real quick. What do you think the Bucks' record and seed will be? Wild guess in the East.
Second seed because the 76ers got a shooter. Between 55 and 60 wins.
I know I said a lot of negative things. I still think we're the best defensive team in the league. I think we have potentially the best player in the league.
Wait, with the Clippers in the league, you think we're better defensively than the Clippers?
I think they need to prove themselves. They have better defensive
they
stars
do have individual defensive players, yeah, but
they need to show that they can play together as a unit first. As of right now, as a unit, and players getting along and playing well together, we have the best defensive unit. I think we're better defensively than Toronto.
I like your point, but
I think the
Clippers,
Bucks.
I'm really excited.
I think we're going to finish 57-25 with the first seed in the East. I don't think we're going to have a 60-win team in the East.
Either. That's why I said between 55 and 60. Like, I don't think they'll get over 60, but they could hit 60.
I think, here's a wild take. If Giannis can shoot at least 32% from three, we are going to the NBA Finals and we are going to win it as the underdog. And that's my guess for the season. Everybody's going to hate me for that. I know I'm biased.
Bucks aren't winning it next year, man. There's no way.
I know I'm biased. Once we post this, people in the comments are going to go at me. It's just my opinion. It's my hometown team. I got to go with them. I really think Chris Middleton's a good second star. Brook Lopez had a historic season. I think Giannis can shoot in the low 30s. We will win the NBA Finals as the underdog.
All right. I'll remember that. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Let me just say one quick thing before we move on to our next and final segment. I like the move. I kind of like the move. Like, I try to make myself feel better about what's his name? I don't know. I forgot his name. That's so annoying. I forgot. Who did we just lose? His name just slipped my mind. He's on the Pacers now.
He's on the Pacers.
Malcolm Brogdon. Brogdon. All right, he
He's
lost.
easy to forget. He's
We
a
went
hated
0
player
4.
now.
We
Not
went
really.
oh,
Or,
I don't really hate him, but we went 0 4 with him in the playoffs. I think. Like we didn't win a single game with him on the court. When he came back, we lost every single game. But wait, let me say one more thing real quick. I like the addition of Giannis's brother, even though he sucks in the EuroLeague, just because I feel like he could learn under Giannis, and because they have great chemistry together, just because they're brothers. Like, there's no way they don't have great chemistry.
oh yeah, it's a way to
Last
keep
but not
Giannis here.
I feel like we overpaid Chris Middleton. He bought a house in Milwaukee before we signed him that contract. I think we could have signed him for less.
We needed to give him that money. It's either lose him and get nothing, or pay him and keep
We
him.
weren't gonna lose him. He bought a house in Milwaukee, man. We could have signed him for like $10 million less, and I would have been fine. All right, you ready for our last segment? Do you want?
Yep.
So our last segment is Would You Rather, because it's our first show, and we're just kind of doing like, introduction things like our favorite teams and what we've been doing. We're just gonna kind of end it with something fun. It's a Would You Rather. So you have 5, right? And I have 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you start because you have 5. And we're gonna try to keep our explanations brief.
You're in the NBA. How would you like your career to be? Would you rather be like a Carmelo Anthony, make tons of money, but never make a finals and always lose? Or would you rather make the vet minimum and win a couple NBA championships?
I don't really want an expensive life, so I do the vet minimum because then the vet minimum like 2.1 million.
Yeah, vet minimum's a couple million.
See, 2.1 million a year,
max
win some championships. I don't need max dollars. I want to have a small house and all that, and I'll be fine with that. If I could, how many years will I be in the league? Like what, 10 years?
I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
All right, let's say I play a whole career, and a whole career, like 15 years.
Yeah.
That's $30 million.
That's a lot of money.
And I have championships. And then through those championships, I could probably market. And I know if you're a max player, you're probably going to be a better player, but you can still market through your championships. I could always get involved with like ESPN or something.
Yep.
And
you're a part of it. You're on the team.
NBA career. Yeah. Just like that. Okay. What about you?
I would rather win. I'd rather win championships. You're still rich, but
yeah.
All right, would you rather?
All right, my first one. Would you rather, if you owned a team, build around? And by the way, all right, let's say at their age right now. Okay. Would you rather build around Stephen Curry or Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant. Wait. Okay. With injury or without?
He's what, 31, 30? How old is he?
I think he's 31. He's 31.
With the injury. We have to put the injury.
Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put some shooters
like a team from scratch. Just like a new team, you have to start building. You have that one player and a bunch of role players, and then you're gonna build around that player.
I got to go with Steph Curry. Kevin Durant doesn't base his game on athleticism, so he's a really good shooter. He could come back pretty much to his old self, but that's one of the worst injuries you can have, an Achilles tear in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can't trust it. I got to build around Steph Curry.
So I agree with you, but for a different reason. I think that a point guard is an easier position to build around. Because the point guard is the floor general. Stephen Curry is a very good floor general. And if you build around a floor general and you give them people who fit with your game, like for example, like Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they fit with his game. Draymond Green can be he's the pick and roll partner with Stephen Curry. He's gonna send him the screen, get him open, shoot threes. Curry can pop a 3 real quick. That's a perfect fit. If Curry's not going off, we can have a shooter like Klay Thompson because he's built around Curry. Go off for 39 and a quarter, or 37 and a quarter. I feel like he's just so much easier to build around because not only is he an excellent floor general and playmaker, but he can shoot the lights out, and he's just the perfect player to have and build around. All right, what's your next one?
Okay. Would you rather be James Harden, like have his skill set with Kawhi's defense, or Giannis with Steph Curry's shooting?
Giannis with Steph Curry shooting. That is so easy. That is
James Harden is pretty
extremely
nasty
easy.
offensively, and you give him the best defensive player in the world's defense.
But
I
think about
agree
this,
with you,
though.
but I think it's tougher than it sounds.
Giannis is a top 3 to 5. I'll say top 5. He's a top 5 defensive player in the league. Okay, he's the best driver in the league, in my opinion. Or no, he's maybe he's the best at driving in the league, attacking the paint. He's the best at drawing fouls. And when you say Stephen Curry shooting, I don't just think about threes. I think about free throws, mid-range threes. I think of all 3 of those. I put that all into consideration. You got the best. Oh, actually, James Harden is the best at drawing fouls. But if you got a good guy as good as Giannis is at drawing fouls and then shooting like about 90% from the free throw line, and then you have him shooting the lights out and can drive better than anyone in the league, that is insane. And you're a defensive powerhouse, and you're 6'11" with what does he have, like a 7'3" wingspan? He can dunk on everyone. He's got everything. At that point,
yeah, that'd be crazy.
That's way better than That's way better than
all
James
time
Harden
right there.
Yeah. All right. We agree on that one. All right. Here's a good one. I saw this on Instagram.
Oh, everybody that's going to watch this video after we post it, in the comments, tell us your answers of the would you rather.
Yeah.
Give us your opinion.
Would you rather see rookie Jordan in today's game or rookie LeBron in the 90s?
Rookie LeBron in the 90s, just so everybody could shut up and say LeBron can't play in the 90s. With that body, his work ethic, and his strength, I guarantee you he will be a superstar in the 90s.
I disagree. I would much rather see Jordan in today's game. Just because Michael Jordan was just such a dominant player back then. And it'd just be so interesting to see the greatest player of all time from that era and see how he would fit in this era. And he's not really a three-point shooter, so I'd wonder if he'd develop a three-point shot being around this league, and that would make him absolutely insane. I think he'd do I think he'd be a top 3 player in the league if he was in the modern era, but I feel like that'd just be really interesting.
Okay. All right. Would you, if you're a point guard in the NBA, would you rather be a score first, like, let's say, Damian Lillard or Kyrie Irving, or would you rather be a Chris Paul?
That's a pretty easy one for me. I'd rather be a score first, easily.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, I look up to him. That's how I try to play. Like, he's a score first point guard.
No, I don't really consider Westbrook a score first. He leads the league in assists, but.
Do you have me on Bluetooth?
No.
No? Oh, I can hear myself a little bit.
Anyway.
Next
would you rather?
All right, so. Well, anyway, I'd rather be a score first player just because. I mean, that's how I am in real life. I'd much rather score the ball than I like passing, but if I get an opportunity to score the ball, I'm gonna score the ball. I'm not gonna.
All right, let's change it up a bit. Let's change it up a bit then. Would you rather be a score first player or a defensive specialist like Patrick Beverley?
Score first.
Score first.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Beverley. I mean, people don't see him as elite.
Well, yeah, everybody likes scoring, but Personally, for me, I like to watch defense. I would rather be a good defender and try to develop a decent scoring game. That's just me.
All I gotta say is you get more money as a scorer in the NBA. I know I said
you get
earlier
more
that I don't
money.
really
It's
care
more
about
exciting.
money, but you get more money, you get more game time, and
Yep.
I can play more. All right, my
It's more.
next
Yes.
is:
Okay.
would you rather have two superstars with a bad bench or two all-stars with a good bench?
I had a would you rather kind of similar to that. It's a little different though.
What's yours? We can just combine them
I'd rather have two superstars.
with the bad bench.
Yeah. Brings more.
Why?
Two superstars kind of makes up for the bad bench, I believe. But I think it'll bite you in the ass later in the year once they're hurt or get tired. But I mean,
Yeah.
brings in more ticket sales. It's more box office, more TV ratings. If I was the owner, give me Kevin Durant, give me Kawhi Leonard. I'll just get a bunch of old vets on the bench.
Where do you draw the line from a superstar and an all-star? Like, give me like a borderline. Like, give me like a superstar player and an all-star player, and what's the
Okay,
difference? Give me a few.
I'll really quick go all 5 positions. Superstar point guard, Steph Curry.
Okay.
All-star point guard,
James
Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is an all-star. He's just not quite on Damian Lillard's level. Shooting guard,
James Harden.
superstar James Harden. All-star Bradley Beal.
CJ McCollum.
Small forward LeBron James. All-star small forward Chris Middleton. It's just like that. Power forward Anthony Davis. Blake Griffin's an all-star. Just they don't have the skill level to take their team over the top.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. I feel like I'd rather have a team with two superstars than no bench, just because you can't really win the championship without a superstar, and I can't see a team with like Kyle Lowry and Chris Middleton winning a championship, or even coming near to winning a championship.
No, they might not even make the playoffs.
But think about LeBron James and like Kevin Durant on a team together.
Oh,
like that.
It's a superstars league now. I'm sorry, the 04 Pistons, you can't find a team like that anymore that's gonna win. You need superstars now.
Yeah.
That's the way the league is now.
Yeah. So what was your question? Your next one.
What did you say?
What's your next one? I got one more.
Would you rather be the GM of the Los Angeles Lakers or the GM of the Oklahoma City Thunder? Take into account all their picks and all their young assets.
Yeah, I am.
And then the ages of the players in the Lakers.
Two things. I got two reasons why I'd choose what I'm choosing. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, they got a lot of picks. They have young players. They could use that for in case an superstar all-star players like I want to get traded. They can use that to get that player onto their team, and they'll still have a lot of picks and young players because they just have so many of them. But here's the thing: I don't want to live in Oklahoma City. I want to live in LA. I'm trying to live in that nice, warm, always sunny place all the time. Kick back and relax. Own the Lakers, one of the greatest franchises of all time. I think 16 championships they've won. You got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, who claims to be 100% healthy. You got, if that team comes together, that's a super team. You got Kyle Kuzma. He's young. You just signed you just signed
Avery
Rob
Bradley.
back, JaVale McGee, Avery Bradley's a really underrated young talent.
Oh, people are
Really.
talking about the Clippers' depth. The Lakers are pretty
The
deep.
Lakers are the best team in the league, in my opinion.
I can't say that yet. I think it's this.
That team has a
Here's
really
a bold.
bright future. LeBron James retires, that team's still going to be a title contender.
Here's a bold statement. This season, with all these duos and no more super teams, this is going to be the most exciting and interesting NBA season of all time.
Yeah, they will.
I think finally.
Well,
this
at least
is
in my
a year,
lifetime, yeah.
Finally, this is a year we have no idea who's going to win the championship.
And like I heard on First Take, there's about 11 teams that are serious contenders for the title. So it's crazy. Like the Bucks could win it, 76ers could win it, the Celtics could win it. Those are the only three teams in the East I think could win it. The Nets won't win it. The Rockets, the Warriors. I know probably not the Warriors, but I still say the Warriors out of pure respect. The Clippers, the Lakers, and so on. There's so many teams that could win it, and it's exciting.
Oh yeah, you can't count out Philadelphia and Milwaukee either.
Oh, Philadelphia.
I mean, those are the only two teams in the East that I can really see contending, but they're competitive to those top teams in the West.
Definitely. Toronto's not making the playoffs. All right, anyway, let's continue. Would you rather have Damian Lillard for 5 years or Kevin Durant for 3?
Injury?
No injury.
No injury. You gotta give me KD.
Yeah.
I love Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say Damian Lillard. I'm so happy you said Kevin Durant.
I know. Everybody, you got to read my article on Damian Lillard, why he's the most underrated player of our era. I love Damian Lillard. But give me KD. Arguably the best player in the world. Give me him. He can score from anywhere. Give me him. When your team's cold, give KD the ball, move out of the way. You don't even need a coach. Just give him the ball.
The reason I disagree with you, and the reason why I don't disagree with you, but the reason why I kind of disagree with you is because you could say the same thing about Damian Lillard. Give him the ball. He'll score from anywhere.
Damian Lillard is. Are you saying Damian Lillard is as good as Kevin Durant?
No, I'm not saying he's as good as Kevin Durant at scoring, but he can also score from anywhere.
Can he defend like KD?
No.
Can he score
Kevin Durant
every night like KD?
No. But let me say this real quick. Kevin Durant is a much better scorer, but that's not why I would want him on my team for 3 years instead of Damian Lillard for 5 years. The reason why I say that is I don't care if Kevin Durant won a championship on a team that was full of all-stars and Damian Lillard's on a team with one all-star. Damian Lillard has never won a championship. And he's only made it to the Western Conference Finals once, I think, ever. Well, Kevin Durant has been to the finals 4 times. Once with the Thunder where he lost to LeBron James. 3 times with the Warriors, 2 times that he won, and he won Finals MVP, and 1 time where he lost against the Raptors where he would have won if he was healthy, and he would have won Finals MVP, and I can guarantee that. You got a player who's won 2 championships, who's experienced playing with players like Stephen Curry, who's had time under Steve Kerr, a great coach. He's got all that experience. He's learned from all these great people. He is the player I would easily choose over Damian Lillard. He will win me a championship, or he has a higher chance of winning a championship than Damian Lillard. I'd go as far to say that Damian Lillard has no chance of winning me a championship.
I know Stephen A. has said this. If KD was out for the whole year and out for a couple months the next year, healing that Achilles, I would still give him the max
contract. Max,
I can't even say that about LeBron. LeBron's arguably
you want to give LeBron the max contract?
If he's out for a year and a half with the torn Achilles, no. with that big body, Kevin Durant's body, and the way he can score, and he doesn't rely on athleticism.
LeBron doesn't either.
LeBron relies on his athleticism.
No, he can shoot the ball really well.
Can he shoot
He's
like KD?
strong. He can't shoot like KD, but he can shoot the ball.
Give me KD. KD can be out for a year and a half, and I'll give him a 5-year max.
He can be out for 2 years. I give him a 5-year max.
Yeah, I can't say that about LeBron's too old. If LeBron's out for a year, if LeBron's out for
he's out for 2 years. If he's out for 1 year, I'll give him the max. But if he's out for 2 years, then no.
He's too old. I wouldn't even give him a max.
I can't believe it.
I won't even give him a
LeBron
max.
James just had the best season of arguably the best season of his career. If he tears his Achilles, you don't think that someone with that much drive is going to come back and absolutely dominate?
Now, with his big body, he is too weight. That's too much for him to overcome. Like Kobe struggled, and Kobe wasn't even big. All those minutes of
LeBron James, don't you think that because LeBron James is so strong that he has a better chance of healing? Like, because he's got so much mass in his body? I'm not sure if I'm correct, but I feel like that'd make it easier.
No, because it's so much weight on him, and all those minutes, he made 8 straight, or is it 8 or 9 NBA Finals?
8 straight. He's made 9
NBA Finals.
8 straight.
He has made the playoffs every single year of his career besides once. And he has played. What?
Lakers, and I think his rookie year at the Cavs, he didn't make it.
Lakers, yeah, the Lakers too. I forgot about that. 2 years. And he has played every game, started every game. He's so many miles on those legs, and he has such a huge usage rate. And he's a freight train. He's always driving to the basket and getting thrown to the floor. It's too much for him to overcome. Kobe couldn't overcome it. LeBron's not going to.
All right. Do you have another would you rather?
One more.
One more, and then we'll close.
Yep. Would you rather build around healthy KD?
Yes.
3 players. 28-year-old Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Current Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
Or current LeBron James.
Oh. Would I rather build around?
It's current LeBron James. Since you love LeBron so much, it's current. I think this is pretty easy. Don't be blasphemous.
I was thinking LeBron.
Don't piss everybody off with this answer.
LeBron James at 34 years old. He's going on 35. If you build around him, his teammates are going to learn so much from his greatness and just the way he plays. Wait. Let me finish. I would take LeBron James over Kawhi Leonard, but I will not take LeBron James over Kevin Durant.
What?
I will not take LeBron over Durant. Durant is my pick.
If those players were standing in front of me waiting for me to agree on terms to a contract, I'd tell LeBron to take a hike.
I'd take him over Kawhi Leonard.
Current Kawhi Leonard?
Yes. He's overrated. He's really overrated. He's the most overrated player in the league right now.
That is fucking...
Because...
You're stressing me out. Current Kawhi Leonard played like... He played like Michael Jordan.
All right, let me say this. Kawhi Leonard is better at joining a system than he is at being built around.
He was built around in San Antonio when the second time they made the finals. I'm not saying the first one. When the second time they made the finals, he was the number 1 option.
How are you going to build around him when all the same players are there? Like they were building around Tim
because they were old.
Parker, Manu Ginobili. They were old, but they were still good. Tim Duncan's a top 10 player of all time, top 15 player of all time. As an old man, he's really good.
Toronto, you can't even say Toronto had a system.
Yes, they did.
His first year. Kawhi Leonard was the fucking system.
No, but they still had that team, though. They had the base team without DeRozan.
So you're saying if Dwayne Casey was the coach,
they would have won? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So you're saying You're
Dwayne Casey
saying
was
Nick
here.
Nurse. You're saying Nick Nurse, an overrated coach because he took Dwayne Casey's system.
I think they played pretty similar, except they added Kawhi Leonard. They were still a defensive team like they were with DeMar DeRozan.
They wouldn't be as good defensive.
They just got a better player.
They wouldn't be as good.
Kawhi Leonard in a heartbeat over DeMar DeRozan. It's the same system, but you swap DeMar DeRozan with Kawhi Leonard. You swapped an all-star for a superstar.
Exactly. They built around Kawhi Leonard.
No, Kawhi Leonard joined the system.
He did not join. He did not join the system.
Yes, he did. All right. Anyway,
That team's come.
My choice is Kevin Durant.
The viewers are gonna be pissed.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if they make it this far. If they do, then maybe they'll be mad at you and not me, because I know I'm right. LeBron James.
Looking at that.
You know how much? Just hear me out. LeBron teammates will learn so much from LeBron James, and he still has a good 3 years on him. 3 years, building around LeBron for 3 years is going to win you a championship for sure. Kawhi Leonard, the only reason he won with the Spurs is because he had those veterans on his team who were absolutely
that answer kind of.
And because the second time he won is because he played against an injured Warriors who were scared to play in the 6th game because everyone was going down.
I just can't get over your answer. All right, let's close the show.
Durant. Anyway, Kevin Durant. What's your choice?
LeBron would be my last. I don't know why you eliminated Kawhi first. That's fucking ridiculous. I would take 28-year-old KD. I agree with that.
That's the obvious choice. I'd take him.
I don't think it's that obvious.
It's pretty obvious.
Some people would take Kawhi. There's people that believe Kawhi is the best player in the world.
Build around current Kawhi or LeBron James right now. I'm choosing LeBron. He's getting better and better.
Let's close the show.
All right, so this was the this is the full. I'm sorry, this is funny. This is the Full Court Press NBA podcast first episode. Thank you to everyone who watched, and thank you for supporting us. Really glad to finally start this. I'm hoping we're gonna be doing this pretty frequently. What are you thinking? We're gonna. After work, a lot of times I could always do this if or on my days off, Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're gonna try to set up a schedule. I'm thinking for our next,
and for our next show, I mean, we might as well just talk about it real quick, even though we're still doing it. I think we should just do a whole. I know the free agency already happened. We should just do a whole breakdown of the free agency. And we should talk about what we felt was like the highs and the lows.
Yeah, we should grade teams.
Yeah. I agree. We should grade teams.
And then we can grade the
draft.
our
favorite moments. We can just kind of, and it doesn't.
Just
it
review the season as a whole.
Lows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like a good thing to kind of start with. We could kind of do a brief thing with this season, but I really want to focus on free agency because this was the most exciting free agency ever.
Yeah, the season hasn't started yet, of course. So we're gonna talk about some past things, like say who our favorite teams to watch. We'll rank who we think are the top 10 players of all time.
Yeah,
we'll just do stuff like that when the season starts, and that will be more current with the league. Talk about news, what we feel about what's going on. But like I said, right now it's gonna be kind of hard to do that. But tune in and
because we're starting right now.
Talk about some fun things. We'll have some games like Would You Rather. So this is the Full Court Press podcast,
and thank you guys for watching. And we will see you next time.